Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone's doing well. First of all, I want to thank everyone for joining today's Tech Talk webinar. We are so glad to virtually meet all of you again. So in today's session, my colleagues Yara Youssef and Muzid Karhani will be guiding us for the coming 45 minutes, discussing the situational awareness and alarms for AVEVA System Platform topic. Please feel free to type any question you will have during the session in the question box, and we will be answering it all by the end of this session. Now, I will wish you to get the maximum value out of this webinar, and I will leave you in safe hands with my colleague Yaro. Hi, Yaro.
Hi, Nader. Hello, everyone. This week's webinar will be about situational awareness and alarms for AVEVA System Platform. We will start by introducing situational awareness. Then we will talk about its levels. After that, we will do a comparison between the traditional HMI and the situational awareness HMI. And finally, we will show you a demo in which we will use situational awareness library, configure alarms, alarms border, and alarm client control using OMI. Situational awareness is a library of symbols including full range of commonly used instrumentation and equipment symbols such as agitators, settlers, feeders. These symbols are designed to help operators extract useful information with minimal effort. In addition, situational awareness follows AITS standards that cover a wide range of concepts of importance to instrumentation and automation professionals. For more details about AITS standards for HMI, you can have a look on the High Performance HMI Handbook. Based on AITS, situational awareness is formed of 4 levels presenting data to effectively orient operators to take action. Level 1 provides area-wide overview, including KPIs and summary status information. Level 2 shows some process detail overview, such as specialty pages and key operating screens. The third level presents detailed operating information, similar to most current screens. The fourth level contains auxiliary information, such as trend analysis and help screens, and so on. There are many pre-designed dashboard tools ready to be used for overview and KPIs, such as bar chart, column chart triples, alarm distribution, target graph, and many more. Now, I will show you how HMI has improved by following situational awareness standard. If you were using the traditional HMI, you are familiar with the typical problems, such as the poor presentation and interaction with alarms, lack of built-in standardization, inconsistent colors, 3D effects, and animations. The implementation of situational awareness enhanced HMI in a way that colors are rationalized, the design is user-centered, and as you can see, alarms are integrated. Now, let's jump into the situational awareness library, how to configure alarms, alarm borders, and finally, my colleague Munzir will show you the alarm client control using OMI. So we start by opening our system platform IDE. And then we have already prepared a galaxy named SA_webinar_1. Also, we prepared an object for this demo called level. Let's open the object. In this object, we have an attribute that we have already also configured its PV process value. We have enabled the IO and the limit alarms because we want to see the alarms in runtime. Now, we will create a new symbol. We go to the graphic toolbox, we right-click, new symbol. So we leave the name as symbol_001. We double-click on our symbol and we open it in order to create our graphics. First, we'll start by embedding a graphic from the situational awareness library. So we go to the graphics, situational awareness library. You can choose from the alarms, dashboard tools, polar star. So we will choose from the meters, the SA meters. We put it like here. So you can change the name. It's by default SA_meters. Let's name it level. The type by default is flow. So you can change it as temperature, pressure, deviation. We will see the level today, so let's put it as level. The symbol mode should be changed from basic into advanced in order to enable the alarm limit indicator. So we enable our limit indicators, alarm limit indicators. You can enable the high limit, the high, the low, and the low. For example, let's enable the high and the low. And for sure, we don't have to forget to enable our alarm border and put it as true, because in the runtime, we want to see our alarm borders. This, you can see there is a word label. You can change it and put a title for your graphic by substituting the strings. Let's name it level. The engineering unit, let's put it meters. Okay, so it's changed. Let's double check our configuration. So here it's filled automatically. me.pv.high.limit. The me represents the object that we have already seen first, which is level, and pv is the process value, which is the attribute that is configured also. So everything is right. Now, in case you don't want to embed a graphic from the situational awareness library and you want to create your own graphic, but according to the situational awareness library, you can create it by just, let's take a rectangle to make the same shape. Okay. The name is rectangle 1 of the element. Let's put it level 2. And the element style is none. So we want it to be level meter. So we have to choose from the element styles the meter underscore level. Now, as you can see, the color is changed directly according to the situational awareness library. In order to configure the alarm borders, you cannot configure it from the properties on the right of your screen. You have to right-click on it, go to the animations, and enable the alarm borders from here. For sure, you have to write your me.pv, which is the object.the-attribute, and all the others will be filled automatically. Also, let's suppose we want it to be filled vertically. The level will be filled vertically. Okay, we put also me.pv. Okay. So here we have a label which is level. We can do the same for the one that we are creating. Let's name it level 2. And also we have to select it in order to change the element style of this text and put it as label, same as the situational awareness graphic. Here it is, it's changed, it's the same now. You can do the same for the meters and for the numbers here. So, and finally, let's add a background for our graphics. Okay. Let's send it to back. And also do not forget to change the element style and put it as background. And done. We save and close our symbol. Okay. Our object is already opened. We have to link this symbol to our object by going into it, and this is our symbol linked to the object. We save and close. And now let's check the runtime by opening the View app. Okay. So here we have our pane. It's empty. So we have to add our symbol. We just go to our object. Okay, our object is located in our case today in the level, in the production line 1. So this is our symbol. Let's see it. Okay. So here, as you can see, the colors are gray monochrome palette. So the only colors that attract our attention are the colors of the borders of the alarms. Let me mention an important note about the alarms. We have 4 states of alarms. If the alarm is unacknowledged and in the status of in alarm, it will be blinking just like now. When the operator acknowledges this alarm, but it's still in alarm status, it will be steady. When the value returns to normal and the alarm becomes acknowledged, return to normal, it will disappear. The alarm borders will disappear. And in case the alarm is unacknowledged but returns to normal by itself, the borders will be hashed. And as you can see also, we have the numbers here, 1 and 1, and the colors of the borders are changing according to the severity. We have different severities for alarms. We will be talking about them in a few minutes. So also this graphics are showing us the deviation of the values between 60 and 62 meters. The filling is gray. Let's suppose you don't like this gray filling and you want to change it. How it can be changed? So we go into our Galaxy. We have to configure our Galaxy style library. We go to the element styles. Element styles allow consistent use of colors, fonts, lines, and other graphical aspects, contributing to standardization and the good design. Situational awareness symbols are using element styles. And as you remember, when I was configuring the graphic, I put the element styles type as meter_level. So let's search for it. Here it is. The filling, as you can see, it's gray. We can change it. And all the graphics that have this element style type, which is meter_level, will have their filling changed. So let's choose, for example, blue. Okay. And let me add one more thing, which is the alarms here. You can see that the alarm high unacknowledged has the yellow color, and it can be blinking. The low alarm return to normal cannot be blinking, as I have mentioned before. It has a different color, which is purple, and it's hashed, okay, because it's returned to normal. And also the alarm borders, you can change the colors of the alarm borders in case you want. So the low acknowledged it's purple. You can change the color the way you want. So now let's check if the filling has changed without doing redeploy, without doing anything. You just open, and here it is. The filling of the level meters is changed, and it's blue. You can build also, in case you don't want this grayscale, you can build your own Galaxy style library. But also there is a pre-built one in order you want to change this gray background and monochrome. The built ones, pre-built ones, you can import them and find them in the Galaxy style library. Local disk C, program files 86, orchestra, framework, you go into bin, and additional element styles. Also, these element styles can be used, for example, brick, metal, olive, sand. These also are monochrome. Let's choose the aqua, open, and it's imported successfully. Okay. So also now there is no need to redeploy. We just open, and the colors, as you can see, the colors now are aqua. So last but not least, let's talk a little bit about the alarms and events configuration. We go into our Galaxy, configure, alarms and events configuration. So according to the ISA standards, we have 4 levels of severities: the critical, high, medium, and low. The urgency of the alarm is based on severity arrangement. So the choice of severity is based on how fast you want to react for an alarm. And as you can see, there is also the priority range, which is between 1 and 999. The priorities are a sorting mechanism for alarm displays. There is no internal behavior or mechanism within the system which gives more importance to a priority 1 alarm over a priority 2 alarm if both arrive at the same time. So the priorities are subjective. And in addition, we have 5 modes of alarms. Here you can see inhibited, disabled, silenced, shelved, and enabled. Enabled alarms are configured and working normally. Inhibited alarms are disabled from another attribute. Disabled alarms are considered as if it's not configured at all. It will not work on runtime and it will not be hysterized. Silenced alarms are working in a normal way but in the background so that they can be saved and hysterized, but their borders will not be shown live. Shelved alarms are disabled for a period of time. So now I will leave you in safe hands with my colleague Munzir, who will show you a demo on how to configure alarm client control using OMI. Hi Munzir.
Hi Yara, thank you so much for your presentation. Now, from my part, I will start from where you end. So we already prepared a small application that we can demonstrate the alarm client control. An alarm client control, you already, Yara, demonstrate the alarm within the graphic that we can use it in level 1, 2, or 3 visualization level of situational awareness. The last level is level 4, which is the auxiliary, and one of the auxiliaries are the alarm client control, the tables of alarm, how to interact and see more details about the alarms. And it's very strong application or client control, which is alarm client control. This one, okay, the one that I'm showing right here is the client that interact with current and recent and historized alarm. You can see the details, nodes, who's doing the alarm, if it's acknowledged or not, the alarm duration, and many more columns that we can add or reduce, and we'll see how to configure. Now, as well, with a very strong built-in feature for alarm application in OMI is in case you want to navigate directly to your page of the alarm. For example, I have an alarm for heat exchanger underscore 001, and this one is high alarm, and I want to navigate to the screen of heat exchanger in case it exists. Simply I click on it and go to navigate, and the page will open. But I don't have, in my scenario here, I don't have any screen built for this one. Now, more than this, I want to interact and change the alarm mode and the time. For example, I'm here in historized alarm. If I want to change that time, I can do it. Let's see, just 9 minutes from now, for example. And okay, go for okay. You can see for the last 9 minutes, in historized alarm, and you see this is from history blocks. What if I want to interact with some mode? I have here a button to change the mode of alarm, to change it from historized, you can see it down, to current alarm. With the change of query, I can change the query even from here normally, or some pre-built query that are already exist. And from me, I have like here, planned. Galaxy is the provider in my system platform, and the group is planned. Yeah. Let me, and I can only interact and acknowledge live alarms or current alarms. I cannot interact with historical alarms. So let me acknowledge this one. You can put like test or whatever. So that's it. And you can find the comments and the color change, and this one is acknowledge but still in alarm. As you see, the alarm, the live alarm can be blinking, return to normal, the same color we are using. So if it's yellow on the border, it's for high, it's supposed to be yellow on the auxiliary. Now, how to configure and to know more about the colors or we want to change anything in the alarm client control, or we want to use more features and more functions in the alarm client control. Let's open the application together. My application I'm using, this is the one, test underscore 001. This is the OMI application. I will open the layout because I already embed everything within the layout. Now, for more details about the best practice of OMI as an OMI, you can follow us on our channel on YouTube, and there is a video already published there, what is OMI and how to build an application in OMI using what is a layout and what is a screen, and etc., and how to build up the best way to build your application. Now I have this layout with two pans. The first pan is my controller, how I'm controlling. The other one is where my client control. Let's start to discover the first one, what I'm doing in here. It's a simple orchestra graphic. In 2020, it's actually, we call it industrial graphic. So let's go for edit selector. The selector is the name of the graphic. And if you go to the library, you'll find a graphic name selector. This is the one. The graphic editor will open. And as you see, from here, let me close this one. From here, the elements, you can find all the text. It's simple text with some animation. What is the animation? Let's see. For example, for start, I'm just putting a user input as a time. For a property or custom property, I'll show it for you. It's start. Same here for end. And once I have a text format down, I put a text format, which is, let me just open it again. This is the text format. It's supposed to be this way because it's a time at having a text format, and I want to put it in my alarm client control. And once I click on OK, I'm actually triggering a request. It's a toggle. So if I'm clicking, if it's true, it will become false. If it's false, it will become true. Very simple and very easy animation. Then I will get new, this is to get value. Modes is actually triggering a namespace. It can be a custom property, but I'm directly going for a namespace. Simple animation. All these are controlling few custom properties or values. So acknowledge, it's aa.acknowledge. What is aa.acknowledge? What is my view? Where is this one is coming from? This is the namespace. A namespace for a view app, it's like designing values or attributes for the application itself. So and query these things, I'm controlling a namespace. How to create a namespace? Let's close my graphic. Very simple and easy. Go and anywhere in your graphic toolbox, right click, new, view app namespace. Now the namespace, if you remember the one that I'm using, it's my view app.aa. This is the one dot the attributes that I'm creating inside. So once I put some attributes, I want to use those attributes dynamically in a script. Good news in 2020, I can create and make some scripts in my layout. In 2017, this is not an option. Now in 2020, if you open any layout, you'll find some scripts. Same as the scripts of your symbols, you can find some script here with predefined scripts on show, while showing, on hide. I'm not using any of them now. In my example, I'm using an acknowledgement. And remember the namespace, I have aa.acknowledge. So in my view app, any view app opening this, any application opening this layout, in case the acknowledge a change of value, go for something, a client control, that name alarm client control 1, make an acknowledge for the selected row, which is this one. I name it client control 1. So the client control that I embed in here in the script, if you click on any row and you click on acknowledge button, it will acknowledge. Another one for request. So when the request toggle from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0, that means I'm changing the start and end dates. Do the following. There is a method here called time selector. Time selector will take the time, start time. Remember, I'm changing the time, start and end times, and changing them from a text in the symbol. Make it time selector, then disconnect, connect, and requery. That means refreshing the value. Then here define, that's the memory to get the value and show it in the other text. Same for the mode. Here I'm changing from mode 1 to mode 5, depending on the toggle of the modes in data change. Mode 1, that means it's current. Mode 5, it means it's historical alarm and events. last scripts here is related to some history filters. All these methods, arguments, you can find it in a document that I will show you just a few minutes later. So this is what we can do, and it's adding this script in the layout will give me a lot of flexibility to work on in my 2020's version. Now, how to configure the alarm client control itself? So first, you have the runtime behavior that you can find it once you can find it in your toolbox default or wherever the application exists. Now, in our Galaxy here, we already create a Galaxy based on default, not a default empty. So this is why we can find it this way. So the OMI application, and what I'm searching for is the alarm app. Simply drag and drop. So once you drag and drop it in here, you have to put the name. And this name, you have to use it as it is in the script, alarm control 1. Change the runtime behavior the way that you want. Then the configuration inside, you can do it from the configuration. By the way, from the runtime here, you can find the navigation button. You can edit or remove it, or the acknowledgement button, etc., etc. Now, for those who are familiar with the .NET client control, it's exactly the same for alarm control because they are coming from the same source. So alarm mode, this is the alarm mode, historical, as you see, it's 5. This is a client mode. Remember, I changed it from 1. This is 1, 2, in case you want recent alarm, and even 3, 4, and 5. What's the difference between current, recent, and historical? Historical, I'm reading from history, actually. The recent is where it's in the buffer before reaching the historical value, and the current alarm are the live alarm in front of me. That's happening right now. This is regarding the mode, so I can change but when I'm changing the argument client mode. Same for the colors. So what's the colors that I want changing in case of historical? And if you change the historical to, let's go for current alarm. This is the current alarm. You have to put a syntax query. Now, where to find some syntax? This is not really good. It's a InTouch system. This is from InTouch. So how to change that syntax? This is where I will show you the documents of all of this. It's written in details. And what I want to show you the colors. Based on the colors here, you can find acknowledge and unacknowledge, etc. Flash unacknowledged alarm in case you want to flash the unacknowledged alarm on runtime, or not. You can change the background and text, and this is the colors is totally customized. Same for return to normal, heading, shelved, etc. Column details in case you have these. Now what we show here is several things. Now you can add more details like class, what is your priority, but more important than the priority, as Yara mentioned, is the severity. I think you can find it somewhere. Will not use it. It's somewhere there. You can find something called severity, I think. And last but not least, the query and filter. You can predefine some query, the times, and the runtime behavior. The runtime behavior is like here, show context menu. Once you click on any value, right click, this is the context that will be shown. Now, how to find more about the alarm client control or the alarm application in OMI, this application, the one that we get it from the assets here. Simply, I will show you all the documents and where to find it. Not only for this, for any documentation regarding OMI, you have to follow the path. It's actually under C. Now, where is your installation path? By default, it's program file x86, orchestra, framework, docs. And in docs, it's only one, then 33, and here it's a very good documentation for you. Now, the document that I'm searching for alarm application is ngx. Go for index, allow, okay. And you can find here how to build up a view app, some videos about OMI and system platform that you can use. But what I'm searching for is actually the application. So I have something called OMI application. This is InTouch OMI application. What I need is alarm application, and this is the same application that I'm looking for. Go for search for it, and you'll find alarm app, and you'll find it directly. So alarm application, how to start it, how to use it, what is behavior, how to change it, the filters, the configuration on runtime behavior, etc., and alarm some scripts, how to use some scripts in it. Now, regarding the methods that I'm using, selector, time selector, etc., let me just minimize. Where to find it? I recommend to read this one, AA Alarm Client Control, where you can find all the .NET methods and arguments that are used in your application. So even open it as a PDF or HTML. So like, for example, where is it? Let me go find time. I want to change time. You have many methods. The method that I want to show you is the one that I used, time selectors in 111. So let's go for 111. And here you can find lots of methods, lots of functions with the examples, the syntax, even the query. You can search for query and how to use a query. And there is lots of syntax for query. You can search for it. Let's go for from the beginning in the here query alarm syntax, and you can go and see what are the query that in case you want to see, and how to use a wild the star, or you want to search for wildcards in the query, etc., etc. There is many better options in 2020 that you can use it. You can filter, you can, and this client control is very powerful. You can read, control, write, and even create many things from those applications. It's a very good and useful auxiliary that the alarm is actually based on it, and useful to see and to work on. Those are the documents for your list for you, and I will leave. That's it for this presentation. If there is any question, I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you. Nader?
Yes, Munzer. Thank you, Yara, and thank you, Munzer, for this informative session. So, as we have mentioned before, we are waiting just to receive the audience questions. And in the meanwhile, I want to just remind you all, ladies and gentlemen, that you can follow us on our YouTube channel and LinkedIn page to stay updated with the technology news and to watch the recording of the important webinars. For following us, you can just check the links in the chat box. So for the questions, please, I just want to remind you to always send the questions. You can send it to the not 1 second. You can write it in the questions box. So the first question: what is the criteria to define an alarm? Munzer or Yara, can someone please support answering this question?
Yeah.
What's the criteria?
Criteria. If I understand well, what the criteria to define an alarm. If I understand, that means how to define or how to choose. This is the value. Is it an alarm or what? Or how to choose an alarm? I think this is a good question because based on many standards, this question changed. But regarding, let's go for the standard that we are talking here. To have a very good answer and not having a headache later on in our project and do some rationalization, alarm rationalization projects, we have to start with define what is an alarm. An alarm is actually an event, a bad event, or let's say, yes, it's a bad event that's happened in our system. That's something that affect our system. So this is one, but it needs an action. So any event that doesn't need an action is not an alarm. Even it will collapse the system, but if doesn't need any action. So an alarm is a bad event or an event that affect my system or affect the health or something happen in my system that needs an alarm. This is definition number one. This is put in your mind. Definition number two, it will come directly after. What is the severity of an alarm? So severity on alarm is based on how fast I have to react with an action. And here it depends on different clients. Some clients doesn't have a very critical events or critical system. Some clients have it. So a critical alarm can be like, let's go again for the standard. In 5 seconds, this is a critical alarm. Lower, between 5 seconds and 30 seconds, it's a high alarm. Until 5 minutes, it's a medium alarm, and more than this, it's a low alarm. So the severity is based on how fast I'm reacting. Some facilities doesn't have this criticality in 5 seconds. So in this case, the 5 seconds become 5 minutes, for example, and it depends on the client. But by definition is how fast I have to react. This is for severity. And is it a bad event that needs an action? This is an alarm. Now, what we have to put in our mind in our project that we do not have to overwhelm our operators. An operator by AITS as well, the same standard here, and this is why we recommend you to go back to the handbook by AITS. Do not overwhelm the operator more than he can only support the maximum number of alarms, 10 alarms per minute. More than 10 alarms per minute, that means we have a bad alarming system and we need an alarm rationalization project. I hope I answered the question well.
Perfectly, Munzer. Thank you. Second question. I can see in the situational awareness library wizard and different shapes of options, or different shapes and options. Can I create or build the same? This another question. So please,
So yes,
Munzer or Yara. Okay.
I will be answering this question. So let's go into our system platform IDE. Okay, here in the graphic toolbox, in the situational awareness library, there are the symbols that are already built in. These symbols are only read only, so you cannot edit them. In order to edit a symbol, you have to duplicate it. So let's duplicate one. Okay, so it's SA_meters_copy. We open it. Okay, so here is the symbol. Here in the symbol, in order to edit anything, we have to click on the symbol wizard. Here you can find all the options and the layers of the symbol. So you have all the layers and the options. Okay, and if you click on any layer or on any option, you can find the properties for everything and you can change whatever you want. So you have to study your symbol and know exactly what do you want to change in it, and you can do this whenever you duplicate a symbol. So this is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Yara. Question number 3, where can we define alarms in IDE?
Okay. I think I can get this question if I correct. So how to configure an alarm, right? So as Yara showed before, let's go back to Galaxy configure alarm and events. Okay, and here you can configure what do you want how to configure your alarm. So if by default this is how everything is historized. Okay, and this is the default by priority. I will show you the priority, how to define them in your system. And you can only shelve the medium and low alarm, because shelf, as Chiara described, is disabled for a period of time. So we don't need to disable a critical and high alarm during the runtime, but you can change it as well. And you can change the images or the icons. We recommend to always follow what you need, and you can even have some alarm plans regarding the area. Now, how to define the alarm within the IDE? That means from your application. If I get the question right, normally we go for the templates and we define the alarm from that. You can define it even from your template, from your application templates, or from the instance. Any object, just open it and go for the attributes. So we have here an analog attribute, the PV, the level, the one that Yara was working on. And let me just close this one to have a better view of it. Okay, so for analog attribute, you have those 4 types of alarm: limit alarm, rate of change, deviation alarm, and bad value alarm. We choose a limit alarm. Just click the feature that you need. What is the rate of change? That means if the how fast the alarm is changing. And deviation alarm is how percent I want, or how far I want to go from the set point. So I have a set point. I don't want to go more than 5% or minus 10% or engineering units. This is the deviation, how I have to deviate from the alarm, and some bad value if in case I'm getting a bad value from the IO. So simply click on the feature of alarm you need, go for this feature, and just simple check what for example, the limits you have: high, 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 low, low, and low, low. Check, click whatever you want, and put, this is a high limit. The limit is 60. For example, this is my 60. More than 60, I have an alarm. What is the priority? Remember there, I have priority 100. That means it's critical. So the severity will be 1. This is regarding the analog. For Booleans, we can go for Booleans and see I have only state alarm and bad value. The state alarm is simply, if it's true, give me an alarm. If it's false, it's return to normal, or the opposite. So alarm is active by default if it's true, or you can change it if it's false. And you have to put the category. What is the category? So in case I'm reading a low value limit directly from the PLC, so I have to put the address from the PLC in IO, then it's state alarm, and put as a category, this is a low value, okay? And put the priority that I needed from 0 to 999 as shown before. Or you can even create your alarm like this one using a script, but you have to put it here and add the same state alarm. Then this PV1, you have to put it in script. For example, if I have condition 1 plus condition 2, make PV1 as true, and that's, in this case, it will be false. Let's make it true. True, and in this case, I have an alarm. But the principle, or the how to create or configure an alarm, this is the way normally.
Thank you, Munzer. So it seems so far we have no more questions. Anyway, and as you know, you can feel free to send us any additional questions related to today's session by email, and we will answer it shortly. Again, now I want to thank everyone for attending today's webinar. We will meet you soon with the new webinar. Until that time, stay safe and have a nice weekend. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Nader. Thank you, Yara. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.